In an industry stuffed with marketing bullshit, empty promises, and Chinese-suited liars, one woman's had enough. She knows what it's like to have the wrong clients, no money, and no time for fun. But she also knows how to fix it. And on the Business for Superheroes show, she promises to tell the down and dirty truth about business, sales, and running away with the circus. Here's your host, Vicky Fraser.
Hello, it's Vicky Fraser here from Business for Superheroes, and I am talking to Julia today, and she is one of my amazing superheroes, and she also does all of my book covers, and she is just an amazing artist. And just before I introduce you, just look behind both of her shoulders and you'll see stuff that she's done. Hi Julia, thank you for coming on to this video. Do you want to tell us a bit, tell us a bit about the art that's behind you. What are they?
Okay, so on this side we have it's the artist proof of the limited edition of 10 prints that I did, which were part of the artwork that went on the cover of Procol Harum box set that's celebrating their 50th anniversary. And the artist proof basically means that it's the first one off the press to check all the colours or everything are okay, and I get to keep it. Or sometimes if artists die, they get sold and fetch quite a lot of money. But it was also there for me to test doing the silver leaf work on it, which is what I added to the prints to just make them a bit more special. So on my website, they're for sale, but the finished products have got my hand finishing with like watercolour and silver leafing and all that kind of thing, just to kind of pep up the prints a bit more. And on this side is a painting I'm currently working on, which is a kind of bunch of sort of autumn stuff that I collected on some walks we went on over the last few months. And it's still not finished at the moment, but there's kind of a few experiments and some really nice paper that I've used. It's like really textural, so I'm kind of enjoying playing with that at the moment. It's a bit of a work in progress and an experiment, so we'll see what happens with it.
Awesome. At the end of the interview, we'll get you to give a URL so people can find out more. But I have my very own copy of your limited edition Procol Harum print, and it is just the most gorgeous thing, and I can't wait. At the moment it's kind of languishing in a corner because it's waiting for the attic bedroom to be finished, but I know exactly where it's going to go and it's just going to look great.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. You were telling me about that a few weeks ago, and I think that if you get it where the light will be shining on it, it'll kind of glow up and stuff. It'll be really cool.
It's going to be very cool. I'm very excited. Anyway, so apart from creating amazing artwork for like world famous bands, which is so exciting, and painting beautiful things, what is it that you do? Tell us what you do.
I'm artist, designer and illustrator, and I focus mainly on looking after private clients who don't want to go to big design firms and giving them a kind of one-on-one service, book design, illustration, helping them with the kind of business marketing and that kind of thing from a design point of view. And obviously coming through the superheroes and working with you, Vicky, I've come through the sort of direct marketing background, so I'm probably a bit more niche on the design side of things, with a lot of designers don't necessarily work with that kind of side of marketing very much. So yeah, it's really nice to have, like I say, work one-on-one kind of relationships with my clients and work with them on a personal basis, because you get to know everybody really well, like yourself and a few others I could mention. It's really, it's great. So obviously from the design point of view, the more you get to know your client and the way they market themselves and the products they create, I can do a better job because you kind of know the situation more intimately and kind of what they're looking for. So yeah, it works really well. I love it. I think it's great.
I'm so glad, because you are very tolerant of me and my woolly. I think I kind of want this, because you've done some beautiful book covers for me, and most of them have not seen the light of day yet because I've just been.
There are quite a lot of work in progress. Yes,
but there's definitely going to be one out in February, because that's very exciting.
Yeah.
You've done loads of book covers for Dom as well, haven't you?
I have, Dom and his dog walking business. So I've been doing loads of dog illustrations recently, and Dom and I ran a competition to celebrate his new book, which was Walk Yourself. No, it wasn't. Which one?
Worry-free walks.
Worry-free walks. The W, all of the W's.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dom. Yeah, Worry-Free Walks came out a couple of months ago, and we were promoting that, and we ran an illustration competition together. So I'm also busy working on the lovely winners, Liz and her dog Gwen. That their illustration is on at the moment. So yeah, I've been doing loads of dog illustrations, which is really cool. And yeah, Dom's great to work with. He's a real character, and I like the way he writes as well. I don't actually have a dog. I've got cats, but if I had one, I've read all of these books anyway, and I do recommend him to people. So I think
Cool. Okay, so and we've talked a little bit about this, but what really makes you different from other designers? I mean, I think I know what makes you different, but what do you think makes you different?
I've kind of been very conscious of coming from a design background when I had a job, and a lot of
job.
And I find the kind of jargony sort of design speak, it's a bit like business speak. It can be really confusing for clients, and it's kind of quite irritating anyway to listen to, because it's completely unnecessary. And I think trying to work with clients and get clarity between the two of you is much better if you speak in plain English and explain things to people and work with them. And I also think a lot of designers want kind of portfolio pieces. They design incredibly well, but they don't necessarily design fully embracing what the client needs or wants, and they design for design competitions at the end of the year. And I think big firms can be quite guilty of that as well. I mean, it's all very well taking on the clients like Coca-Cola and doing massive design projects, but I think on if you're like, say, people who are self-publishing and entrepreneurs and people who are small businesses, you don't need that kind of design. You need what works for you and what will help your marketing, and at the end of it, what will help you sell your product. So it's a much closer relationship, and from my point of view, kind of making sure that you kind of work together as kind of friends almost. You kind of have to build a relationship. People, going back to what I was saying earlier on about working together on a one-to-one basis and kind of having that understanding of the client's kind of needs. So I try and concentrate on that much more.
Cool. Yeah, because I think all that's true. And from my point of view, what makes you different is that you are just as interested in whether or not what you're doing is going to sell as in if it looks beautiful, because they're both important. But in the end, people like me need to make sure that their stuff is going to sell. And so your understanding of how design can help that is really valuable, and it's rare.
Yeah, I think it's come from needing to do it myself. I'm a small business. I kind of market and promote myself and have to sell my products and my services. So I'm kind of on the flip side of the same coin, but obviously from my point of view, I'm working with clients who are in a similar kind of position to me anyway, whatever business they have. So coming from that kind of side of things, it gives you a much sort of deeper understanding of kind of the nuts and bolts of everything and where it needs to end up being. So
So speaking of running a business, what made you start your own business? How did you get to this point?
I trained as an artist, and I always wanted to paint, and I always wanted to make it my living. And obviously that's easier said than done. And I think when I came out of university, I was quite green, and I had an agent for a little while and sold a few paintings, but I kind of got to the point where I also needed to earn a living, and I ended up getting a job. And I did design and illustration as a job for various companies, working in the Christmas design field for quite a long time. And I just got sick of working for other people. I couldn't do what I wanted to do. I got sick of the kind of, like, say, the kind of jargony, salesy kind of attitude. I kind of got sick of not being taken seriously. And ultimately, I always wanted to go back to painting and my own thing and my own illustration work. And I think it got to the point where I was in a rubbish job working for a rubbish company, and I just thought, I've had enough of this. Life's too short. But there's so much, you're getting older and older, and you kind of think, I actually, there's no easy time to make the break. I think it's you're lucky if you can put 6 months working wages away to set up your own business. I think it'd be lovely to be able to do that, but in the end, I think you've just got to take the plunge and do it, otherwise you never will. And it's been bloody hard. Don't get me wrong. It's not the easiest path to take, but I would not change it for the world. I think, I love what I do, and I like being kind of master of my own world, really, as well.
Yeah.
I like working for other people so much.
I think everybody listening who runs their own business will totally understand that, and everybody who is not a business owner will just not get it, because that's the thing, isn't it? People don't get it.
Yeah, and I do sort of think all those people out there who have kind of thought in their mind's eye, I would love to run my own business one day, and I'd love to escape this job. Get a plan to do it, because if you've got that kind of feeling and you're so unhappy in your working life that you don't have time for your family, or you're stressed, or you hate it, and you think you could do better on your own, there's a different set of challenges, and it's very, very hard, but do it. Jump off the cliff and get on with it now, because like I say, life's short, and if you just get stuck on the rat race, you always wish you had done it if you don't do it. So yeah, go for it, I think.
What have you found the actual business side of running a business like? Because I think, like a lot of people, like I'm a writer, that's what I love doing. You're an artist. How have you found the business side of things?
I was been a learning curve like that. It was a bit of a weird one, really, because when I first quit my job, I ended up with like a 6-month freelance contract. So I didn't even start going into running my own business until about 6 months after, because I was basically doing a job but doing it freelance. And I've had, aside from doing my own taxes, which I kind of knew about, massive learning curve. All the jobs I'd ever worked with were basically design and illustration background. Never really had to look at management or strategy, or even like time and management, and kind of thinking forward of what you're doing and how, and marketing, and had to learn that from scratch. So it's kind of been a huge thing, and I think that's actually been the hardest thing about running the business, is needing to learn so many things all in one go, but it's kind of choosing what to learn when that's going to be to your best advantage at that moment in time, and kind of using it. And then also, I think a bit like you, I read loads and loads of stuff, and then it's learning how to actually put that into use, rather than just reading it and thinking, oh, I've done really well, I've read a book about this, and then it's kind of like, well, I think you mentioned it in one of your emails the other day, it's like, what have you read that you've actually used and that's productive? So yeah, that kind of struck a chord with me, because that's kind of me. That's me as well.
It's all of us. I think it's really easy to read something and feel like you've done something, and it's like, it's not quite that simple.
And also reading something or learning something, and then turning the hypothetical and applying it to your own business and your own circumstances, that takes confidence as well. And I think I've had to learn a lot more confidence in that kind of thing, because we'll go back to that kind of thing of everybody still feels like a kid inside. Nobody feels like a responsible adult, and they've got it all sorted. And I've had to go through that kind of thing of like, right, I've actually been doing this for like 4 or 5 years now, and when I chat to other people about it who haven't a clue, they're kind of coming to me and saying, oh, you actually sound like you really know what you're talking about, and it's really interesting. And I kind of think, oh, yeah, I do now. I'm starting to get there. And you never stop learning, but I kind of feel prompted by that. It's good. Yeah, I'm kind of starting to get my head around things now.
Good. I'm very glad. Because you've been in the superheroes for quite a long time now, actually, haven't you? And what brought you to the group?
I think your mentorship has been absolutely brilliant, and it came at a time when, I mean, we kind of knew each other from the motorbike riding things, and we used to get together with kind of the Vice Stand bunch, but it was kind of getting to know you and your copywriting skills initially, because when I had my horrible job, I was actually looking at leaving my job, and my CV was so old and rusty that I initially kind of joined upon your list to get my copywriting skills up so I could redo my CV and make it brilliant. And I thought, oh, sod that, I'll just set up my own business. And gone from there ever since. So, and then with the superheroes, it's kind of about the community. It's about over the last few weeks we've had this with me a little bit. I'm really good at hiding inside my own head when things go badly, and I can be very self-sufficient, but I think it's also to my detriment sometimes. I think it's something I've had to learn to share the burden of my stresses and my problems and get it out in the open. I think the superheroes is the perfect forum to do that, because there's a bunch of like-minded people. Everybody runs different businesses. Everybody's got their own amazing skill sets, and they're all really nice bunch of people as well. And some have met in person and some that haven't. But when we've got this sort of technology where we can speak online, it kind of, everybody's personality comes across much more than it would do if you were just sitting there reading emails or kind of listening to people in a kind of written basis. So yeah, it's lovely to have that. And also, I mean, referrals as well. I've kind of ended up working with quite a few people from superheroes, or, you know, from different business groups and things. So it's great kind of being at that level and being able to help people out and give information back and give support back to the other people as well. So yeah, it's been really good, which is why I've stayed for such a long time.
Yes, yeah, and I love having you in the group. And one of the I don't know if you want to talk about this or not, but one of the things that you posted in the forum the other day, do you want to talk about that? Because I think that's been really helpful, hasn't it?
Yeah, kind of. I think over this autumn, one of the major problems with my business, and it's probably been the only one that's really been any stress, is the kind of feast and famine thing with the finances. You know, sometimes I earn great money and I've got a bunch of clients and I'm really busy, and then there'll be a couple of months where I'm pottering around not doing very much, which is, you think could be great because then I can paint and do other things that's not client based, but it's also the famine on the money side of things. So over the last sort of few months, I've been kind of wanting to niche down much more on the design business so I can market it better and get more regular clients in the areas that I want, which is the book design and illustration side of things. And part of getting that sorted is obviously looking at me and what about me is unique, and that's very hard to do. You can't, you know, you only see yourself from the inside. You don't see how other people approach you or feel about you and working with you. So I kind of had to put the question in the forum, basically. I got told off for you for not sharing more often and kind of sharing my problems and sharing the burden, which is completely true. And now I know to do it more. But I also got some brilliant answers from you and from a few of Sarah, a few of the superheroes, and Jane as well. All kind of giving me really good information about how they feel about working with me, how I come across. So that's been absolutely invaluable in writing my kind of content planning and, yeah, like I say, niching my business down, and which will be in the new year. I've got all this, like, Harriet's been helping me as well because we're accountability buddies. So, yeah, I've got like a grand plan of getting loads of stuff sorted so I can update my website and make it much more client focused and much more focused on the book design, and answer a lot of the questions that people have as well. So that'll be going to my blog and all the other stuff.
That's so exciting.
I'm sorry, I've just rambled on and on and on.
No, that's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted you to do. It's really, I can't wait to see all the stuff you're going to be doing, because I so love the work that you've done for my book covers and for other people's book covers. Just hit the chair. Other people's book covers in my excitement. And so it's fabulous that I'm going to be able to see this kind of take shape over the next year. So is that your goal for next year then, to really kind of get that nailed?
Definitely. Yeah. You know, it's not going to be an immediate thing. That's going to take quite a lot of progress and work. But after spending quite a few, like I say, a couple of months feeling really flat and quite oppressed, and like a lot of things were getting to me a bit, it's given me a really good focus, and the idea of niching right down is really exciting because it's the bit of the business that I love doing the most. It ties in with the art and the illustration, and the book design is great working with people, but it also makes it much easier because I'm not casting the net so wide. And I think it's a part of my kind of expertise and talents that I kind of know the most about as well, and that I feel the most comfortable with and talking about and supporting people with. So yeah, it's kind of, I'm really excited about it now, and it kind of feels like a massive weight off, which is really good.
Cool. That's very exciting. obviously have a vested interest in that because books. So I'm very excited about that. But over the past year, what do you think because I know you've had a couple of challenging months, and everybody has that all the time. But what do you think your biggest win has been over the past year?
I think the launching the limited edition prints of the Procol Harum thing that I did. It's the first time that I've done that as a full marketing campaign, and it was a bit of a sort of a toe in the water, but it was built out of what I've learned from you and other people, and I was really, really happy. I didn't sell them all in one go, but I was really happy with the results. I got sign-ups, I got people buying them, and I've had a brilliant response to them as well, which has been really nice. And it was a lovely reward to kind of show me I can do it. I'll be doing it again. And the other big win was in September, over the summer, I did a painting of the roses that are outside our garden in the grow up the house, and they're amazingly fragrant. And I sort of did a painting to celebrate those. Actually, it's quite simple, just the Albertine roses. And I set up kind of a marketing sequence and emails and everything to promote when I was selling that and when it was going online, and it sold out on the same day that I released it. So I was
cool.
Like, that's brilliant. So, and I know it's gone to a good home as well, because I know exactly who's.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so fantastic that you sold it on the first day that the first day.
Yeah, that was just amazing. I was like, yes.
I'm so pleased. That's a massive win as well, because I think a lot of business owners they try something once and they don't really believe it will work, and it's like you've tried a couple of things, and the Procol Harum album cover was great. It wasn't like 100% success because you didn't sell them all, but you sold some, and then the second thing you did, it worked like a dream.
Yeah, and I think every time I do that and do a release, I make notes about what I could have done better or timing. I think with me as well, sometimes I don't plan far enough ahead. I kind of know my timings are a little bit short on giving myself enough time to do it, enough time for just things like social media and kind of getting it in people's heads. Yeah. So yeah, I've got like a little list of things I could have done better for next time I do it, or things I kind of think of that will work really well. And yeah, that's another thing with the superheroes and how the kind of little tips and kind of, oh, you could have done this and you could have done this, and next time I think, oh yes I will, so I write it down. So yeah, it's building on it, and every time you build on it you do it a little bit better and a little bit better, and it'll work then. So yeah.
Do you find that kind of looking for lessons part of it and picking what you can do better, do you find that helps when you think, oh, rather than just thinking, that wasn't good enough, do you find that helps you just think of it as a way to get better instead of, I should have been better?
Yeah, and I've had to teach myself to do that because I hate feeling things. So I have had to kind of have a good word with myself about the reframing how things appear in your mind, and like you say, rather than seeing it as a failure or that didn't work very well, you reframe it as, what can I take from this and take on to doing it the next time, because there will be a next time, and obviously I'm going to continue selling work and promoting myself and doing the marketing, so unless you stop completely, you've got to do it. And I do enjoy doing it, and eventually you enjoy doing it better, and you make it better, and then you kind of get the buzz out of it when it succeeds and works, because you've learned from your mistakes. So yeah, I think I spent quite a lot of time, especially at the start of my business, kind of not daring to do stuff, and because you think, I'm still learning this, I'll look right pat if I send it out and it doesn't all work, and that kind of thing. And it's like, eventually you've got to get over yourself and just get on with it. JFDI. The hallowed letters.
Yes. I think that is going to be really valuable for anybody listening, because I think that's one of the scariest things for business owners, and I still find it. It's like, oh God, what if this doesn't work? What if I look like an idiot? And you're right, you just have to get on with it, because most of the time people are going to think you're great anyway. It's like, it's all in your head.
Also, I think if you tend to be a bit of a perfectionist, it's quite hard, because I know my attention to detail and my kind of level of quality, I hold myself really highly accountable, so that kind of transfers itself over to other aspects, and you kind of, like I say, you have to kind of not just settle and not kind of let things go, but you've also got to just think, you need to get this out there and get on with it, and you know, the not sort of hold yourself so far up there that you never get anything done.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Okay, so yes, if somebody was thinking of joining the superheroes, what would you say?
Do it. Yeah, do it. I think the chronicles that you get every month are absolutely fantastic. I think, you know, that I've got a ton of them now, and I go back to them all the time. I've got like little notes on them and tickets and things, so I can kind of reference the ones that I need to go back to, and I've got ones that I need to do as well. And sometimes the challenges that Vicky sets maybe not like, you don't necessarily do them exactly at the moment when you get them. You kind of, sometimes I have to go back and do them at different times just with workload and other things going on, but they're all relevant and they're all useful. And yeah, that alone I think is a massive part of it. But then aside from that, the community is just, it's got better and better and better. I mean, there's John going off and doing the accountability things, which I kind of get stuck around because my schedule is slightly odd, so I never get in there, but obviously I have it kind of in the background, and we've kind of got together because of the breadhead thing. And yeah, it's a massive benefit, because I think a lot of business owners are kind of on their own a little bit. And if you hate going to networking meetings and you don't have an immediate little clan of like-minded people around you in the real, you know, in the local world to you, then something like the superheroes is absolutely fantastic, because they're all friendly and they're not up their own arses, and you know, they've all got like really interesting businesses and different marketing approaches, and you know, lots of really good. The hive mind, I think it gets called quite a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Maura called it the hive mind, and it's kind of stuck.
Yeah, because it's a great description.
Yeah.
You know, if people have got problems, or even like little technical things or practical stuff, or you know, there's so much out there that you have to learn, and it's kind of, yeah, if anyone can chip in and help, it all kind of everybody looks after each other, which is a really nice thing to have.
Yeah, and I've found the same thing as well, because it's like I kind of, you know, that's what I love. It's like, obviously I want to grow my business, but what I really love is hearing how people have helped each other and the community that we've built. Because even if people don't come and join my thing, I think that you should find a group of people who are going to help you and listen to you and understand you and support you.
Definitely. Yeah, because like I say, it's quite lonely sometimes, and you know, not everybody's family kind of appreciates or understands what they need to do or how they need to do it, and you do need support. Nobody can do everything on their own, you know. I've learned that. Yeah, you need the support, and I think, you know, the 80% of the time that you're ticking along nicely, it's brilliant, and then you can brag about all your your wins as well, and everybody supports you, and kind of, you know, it's nice to see other people doing well who are part of the group, who've maybe had, you know, like a couple of months before they were in the doldrums and they were feeling rubbish, and they, you know, they needed the support, and then for them to turn something round or launch something or get a great, you know, situation out of their business, or some win or some big client or something like that, it's really lovely to see, and it kind of jogs you along as well. So it's a sort of both a carrot and a stick at the same time, which is, you know, really good.
Yeah, sticky carrot. That's gross. Okay, so okay, so where can we? That's probably a good note to end on. Where can we find out more about you, Julia? Where should people go?
Okay, so my website is brownowldesign.com, and it covers both the design, the illustration, and the art side of things at the moment. And I also write a blog, so that pops up on LinkedIn and social media, and on my website actually, which so everybody can see that, which I need to attend to because I've been there for a while. But yeah, so brownowldesign.com is where all my stuff happens.
Cool.
And also, if you're interested in my work, or any side of it actually, you can join up and put your name down, and I will send you emails and newsletters and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and your emails are awesome. I really I read all of them, and I really enjoy reading them. And so, you know, for somebody who is not a writer, if anybody else out there is thinking, oh, I'm not a writer, I can't do emails, and join Julia's list and read her stuff, because it's so great. Anyone can do that.
I've had a good tutor.
Thanks. But yeah, this has been brilliant. Thank you so much for talking to us, Julia. I've loved this. And yeah, go to brownowldesign.com, look at Julia's beautiful artwork, and it is just fantastic. Find out a bit more about her, and yeah, I'll be back with another interview soon.
Yay!
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Like what you've just heard? Tell your colleagues, tell your friends, send them to www.businessforsuperheroes.com/podcast.